How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and with LTE on AT&T come a bunch of new devices that can take advantage of the technology. I've got two of those in my hand right now because it's LTE time on AT&T, and you know what we do in PhoneDog land? We do dogfight videos to see which one is the best. One of those is the Samsung Galaxy Note. Now this bad boy just came out on AT&T, and it's packing a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon processor, an 8-megapixel camera, a 5.3-inch display, so you can call it a tablet phone, a phablet, whatever you want to call it, but it's a big device on AT&T, and it's available now for $299.99 in two colors. Then you have the HTC Vivid, one of AT&T's launch 4G devices, and it's packing a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, a big display, 8-megapixel camera, and more. Which one's the best one to get? Should you go with the conventional device or the tablet phone? We're going to find out in the dogfight, but first, some love to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game on the site. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile to get either of these devices, you don't got to deal with rebates, messy paperwork, waiting 8 to 10 weeks for those stupid debit cards that everybody hates. You're going to walk out the door without dealing with any paperwork at Best Buy Mobile. Let's take a look. Samsung Galaxy Note, phablet, HTC Vivid. Which one's the best? We're going to find out in the dogfight, which starts right now. So you're on AT&T and you're trying to pick an LTE device. We've got some great options. You have the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket, the Pantech Burst, the HTC Vivid, and the Samsung Galaxy Note. So some awesome choices. It all depends on what you like, but two of those are down here on the table ready for a dogfight. So you've got AT&T's Samsung Galaxy Note here on the left, a big 5.3-inch Super AMOLED HD display that has 1280 by 800 pixels along with a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon processor, an 8-megapixel camera on the back, a big 2,500 milliamp hour battery, an S Pen for capacitive input, kind of like a stylus, but don't let Samsung hear you call it that. And then Android 2.3 with TouchWiz version 4.0. This is available now for $299.99. And then you have the HTC Vivid over here. This is one of their initial launch LTE devices alongside the Galaxy S2 Skyrocket. And it's packing some different specs. A 1.2 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon processor, a 4.5-inch display, QHD display, an 8-megapixel camera with 1080p HD video recording, a front-facing shooter on this bad boy as well. And then, of course, Android 2.3 with HTC Sense version 3.0. So a different appearance here, a different look, and a different size as well on the Vivid on both of these devices. 1,600, I think it's 1,600. It's either 16 or 1620. I can never keep this one straight, so we're going to do what I hate doing on video and pulling it out just to make sure. Yeah, 1,620 milliamp hour battery on the HTC Vivid. So a much smaller battery, but it's still got a pretty decent sized display. So the question is, and 540 by 960 pixels, by the way, on the Vivid. So still a pretty big display, although it's no match to the Galaxy Note over here. This is kind of a tablet smartphone hybrid over here on the left, and even though it's $300, you get some nice features with it, and it's got a nice big, like I said, 2,500 milliamp hour battery. So just comparing the build quality on both of these devices as I proceed to knock the phone into to the camera here, you got your volume rocker over here, you've got your micro USB charging port down here, you've got your capacitive buttons, menu, home, back, and search, you've got your power button on the left side, and your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top. And it's still a big device to hold in the hand. If you followed my Galaxy Note challenge, I'm actually carrying this phone for 30 days as part of a challenge that you voted on. And so I've been working with it for a couple of weeks now, 18 days, actually 19 days as of today, out of 30 days. And it's still a big device. It's hard to hold in the hand, but you do get a lot of functionality, so it's a trade-off versus portability, and that's something you may have to get used to if you carry this device on a regular basis. But 7 home screens as part of TouchWiz version 4.0. Then over here on the Vivid, you've got your micro USB charging port on the bottom, your volume rocker over here on the right side, nothing down at the bottom, some buttons down here, home, menu, back, and search, power button, and 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top. Now, one thing that I do like about the Vivid is it's got a nice metal battery cover, so if you're a stickler for build quality and you like metal as opposed to plastic, well, it's got some plastic on the sides, but the metal battery door adds some texture to the back and really kind of gives it a premium feel as opposed to the Galaxy Note, which, while it's a nice device and it's built well, it's made entirely of plastic, and you can really feel that when you're using this device on a regular basis. So HTC Sense version 3.0, and you can see the lock screen there, and actually I'm going to turn it off and back on with both of these devices so you can take a look at their respective lock screens and see what they look like. You get a big lock screen over here with a clock with the weather, and then I simply press and the screen goes dark. No, it's not supposed to do that. I'm just kidding. Press and then move it out of the lock to unlock it. Then over here I can either lift the ring up, or I have these frequently used applications. I can customize those in the settings, and I can pull down messages, for example, and access it directly, or I can just pull the ring out. Now, AT&T loves to put their network identifier up there in the top left-hand corner, so you actually see that on both of these devices, but I'm going to pull down the notification bars here so you can take a look. You have the date up there in the left-hand corner on this one. You got the date down where it usually is on most Android devices on the Galaxy Note. Then you got some shortcuts up here on the Note. You have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, airplane mode, and then screen rotation. And then over here you have nothing over here, but on the quick settings tab down here at the bottom, you've got a couple of nifty ones. Wi-Fi hotspot, mobile network, Bluetooth, GPS, all settings, and then of course a memory task killer, or memory manager slash task killer. I kind of combine those two together because, hey, it's just easier to say. And then you got this over here, so I can easily access that, see what's running. I can kill, which apparently nothing's running, but I can kill those applications, refresh, and be back in business pretty easily. So 7 home screens over here, and these operate in kind of a carousel look and feel as opposed to these which just slide from right to left, a more traditional Android structure there. So you can see right to left, and then I have these dots down here. I can press and hold and easily move between them on the Galaxy Note, whereas over here I can either pinch and bring those out, and you can see my 7 home screens, but again has a kind of a carousel animation there when you slide between them, and of course I can swipe it really fast and get it going, and the carousel rotates back and forth, leaving the wallpaper in the background. So over here, same thing, pinch, see my 7 home screens, and access there. Now the dock area is a little bit different on both of these devices. You have 5 shortcuts down here because of the screen size: phone, contacts, web, messaging, and applications. Now, applications is fixed. All these other ones can be customized. So if you like contacts, or you want to put mark it down in there, Gmail, whatever it is you want, you can customize those and kind of make it your own. Down here, applications drawer, phone shortcut, and then personalization, none of which can be customized, at least right here. Out of the box, typical AT&T stuff. Did not mean to press that. And because I'm using this as my personal device for 30 days, I've actually kind of deleted some of the AT&T stuff. But you get code scanner, navigator, AT&T's ready to go, featured apps. You get some stuff like live TV, which I uninstalled, my AT&T, and then you get some Samsung stuff like Media Hub, which we'll talk about more a little bit later, and then YP Mobile, which is an AT&T thing. So you get some stuff pre-installed. Over here, AT&T Code Scanner, Family Map, Navigator, and then you get featured apps on this one as well. You get live TV, you get MOG Music, you get My AT&T Movies, which you get some of that stuff over here as well. I've just uninstalled it, like I said. Visual voicemail on this device, and then YP Mobile over here is one. Now, both of these devices obviously serve as Wi-Fi hotspots. You can add that feature on your AT&T plan for a certain fee, which kind of changes from time to time. I think it starts at $50 right now, and it's combined as part of your data plan. And this is a nifty little feature that I like. You can switch between all apps and frequent and downloaded. So you can see the downloaded apps that I've done recently. I can see my frequently used applications, and I can go over here to all apps as well. Over here, you don't get anything quite like that, though. You can go into settings, you can edit, and we'll switch that around, and I can add folders as well, and this is where I can customize my home screens and make it easy to access those. I'm going to go back to view type, and I'm going to do an alphabetical grid because I'm a stickler. I like my my icons to be alphabetical, so I'll change that back. But like I said, 7 home screens with some decent personalization choices on both of these devices. Now, I have to give Sense credit because Sense does a great job with personalization. You've got a shortcut down here, and you can change a lot of different things about this device. You can change the wallpaper, the lock screen. So remember the lock screen I just showed you? Here's what it is currently. You can change it around to a couple of different things, like photo album. You can change it to friend stream. You can change it to weather and more. So if I want to see the weather on the home screen, I can hit apply, and the weather lock screen is there. And then when I turn it off and back on, I can see my weather instantly. Now obviously that's a battery killer, and with a 1,620 milliamp hour battery, it's going to be kind of noticeable, and I actually have noticed. That's why I keep it turned off, because these little animations like that tend to kill the battery much faster than other things on the device. So anyway, personalization, like I said, you can do that. You can change the wallpaper. You can change the skin as well, make it customizable, like make it burgundy or blue as opposed to the HTC skin. And you can also get more through HTC Store, which is pre-installed on this device under HTC Likes and HTC Hub. Now, HTC Hub is a lot like kind of a web store, if you will, where you can download free ringtones, free wallpapers. I'm going to need an account to log in, which I don't have at the moment, but you can go on there and get wallpapers, ringtones, and more, and get customized skins, and really make this device your own. And TouchWiz doesn't quite have anything like that, though. We'll say 4.0 is a giant leaps and bounds ahead of TouchWiz 3.0, and you do get some nice options. And I like the way the widget screen looks and how easy it is to rotate between the various widgets. Now, one benefit that TouchWiz does have going for it that Sense doesn't have is when I go over here and see AP Mobile, for example, I'm going to bring it over here, and you'll notice that it's going to be a customizable widgets. I can make it larger, I can make it smaller, I can make it a certain, I make it tiny like that if I want to, and I can really make it my own, because if I'm over here on a tight screen like this and don't have a whole lot of space, I can really make it the size that I kind of want to make it. Over on HTC, you get a couple of different options usually when it comes to size. So we'll go into widget, and you can see, for example, as you choose the calendar widget as an example. You can see the month widget, you can see the agenda widget, and then you can see this smaller one. So you do get some options when it comes to size, but you don't get any choices as of yet on Sense to customize the size of any of the widgets themselves. So I can create a smaller one, but if I'm in a tight area like this, I may be able to fit 2 or 3 widgets onto the Galaxy Note. In the same area, I can only fit 1 on Sense just because, and on the Vivid, just because there's not enough room and you can't customize the widgets. So I do like that customization choice. I think it's good on the Galaxy Note. I will say the customization through HTC Hub is fantastic on the Vivid and on a lot of the HTC devices that are out on the market right now. So at least in that regard, it's a tie. Let's take a look at messaging on both of these devices and see, and I'm actually going to pull this one away because I've been using this as my personal device, so obviously all my personal texting threads are all loaded up on this device. So let's get over into a blank messaging interface just so you can see here what it looks like. And this is where the 5.3-inch display comes in really handy. You obviously get a lot of room to type, so if you're somebody that's always struggled to type on a touchscreen device, this may be a good one for you. Then over here, 4.5-inch display, no slacker by any means, but still smaller than 5.3 inches. So you can see those side by side. On both of those, portrait to landscape transitions are nice and fast with little to no lag. You can see it has a nice little transition effect over here. Gives you a nice little look and feel. On this device, so we're going to say the quick brown fox. Actually, you know what, we're going to switch it up. The busy rumor dog is in need of a Coke. The busy rumor dog is in need of a Coke because he is thirsty. Well, I won't say that, but you get the idea. Busy rumor dog's in need of a Coke, and he comes with 3 different keyboards over here. One I've already installed, the ice cream sandwich keyboard. Ignore that, that's for me. But Android keyboard, Samsung keyboard, and then swipe all come pre-installed. Now it looks like you only get 1 keyboard over here, but it's actually 2 keyboards in one. So we can go in here and say, hey there, busy dog, busy rumor dog. But let's say, I really miss swipe and I want to kind of go back to swipe. All I have to do is go like this and use HTC's what they call touch, or trace input rather. How are you doing? And apparently I'm really bad at it, but you get the idea. Trace input is built into the HTC keyboard, so you never have to switch it up. You can either turn that feature on or off if you don't like it, but you do have the option of kind of a swipe-like interface, even though this doesn't come with swipe pre-installed out of the box. So a lot of different choices on both of these devices. I am impressed with the fact that they left the Android keyboard over here on the Galaxy Note.